Since you clicked this video, you're here to learn the muscle up, and I got your back. We're gonna go for tips and tricks, techniques behind the muscle up so you know exactly how to perform it, and then all the exercises you can incorporate in your training to then finally achieve the legendary skill. Let's get started with some techniques. The first question we may ask is, how wide should I grab the bar? The truth is, it comes down to preference, but there are a few differences. The wider grip will activate more lats in the pulling and will activate more chest in the pushing for the straight bar dip. Whereas the tighter grip is going to be more involving the biceps in the pulling, and then whilst we're getting over the bar and pressing up, it's going to activate more triceps. And then of course, as always, the in-between grip is going to be a little bit of combination of both, and that's where I recommend you to start. So start with the shoulder width apart with the hands, and then if you feel like you're slightly stronger with the wider or slightly stronger with the tighter grip, then do that in the future. Another technique we want to incorporate while training the muscle up is the concept of false gripping. That's when our hand is going over the bar, false gripping it. And the reason we want to do this is because we don't want our hand to slip every time we perform a muscle up. So if I were to start the muscle up here, I would pull. When I'm getting over the bar, I will need to slip with the hand to get over. But if I have the false grip from the beginning, I'm totally fine hanging here. And while I'm doing the muscle up, it's only my wrist that's gonna be moving, but my hand will stay in the same place. The final technique I wanna show you is how the muscle up movement is performed. Because it is not gonna be in a straight line, us doing an explosive pull-up straight up and then just continuing. That's not really how it works. The muscle up is actually more of a light swing forward. We will then pull ourselves away from the bar to get that height, and then when we're high enough, we're gonna pull ourselves in towards the bar. Now that you're a master when it comes to techniques behind the muscle up, let's move on to the exercises we can add to then get more strength towards it. First exercise we wanna add is explosive pull-ups. And there's a few things we wanna think about for it to be as beneficial for the muscle up as possible. Number one is having the grip the same, so shoulder width, slight false grip. And then the other thing is how we pull. And we don't want to pull in a straight line upwards. Even if it's explosive, that's not simulating the muscle up enough. We want to actually pull slightly more backwards, since that's what the actual muscle up movement more looks like. But you start off as high as you can and then progressively get higher and higher. In the beginning, we can also add a thin resistance band to get some additional help and increase our repetitions. Then as we get stronger, we can take away that band and then only continue with body weight. Next up, we got the straight bar dips. Find a bar that you can easily access or take something so you can easily jump on. Straight bar dips is great for the second part of the muscle up, which is going to be the straight bar dip. Just go down to the belly, the elbows pointing backwards, and then we push up. And repeat. Next up, we got the negative muscle up. This one is great for training the transition and building that strength and control. So what we want to do is jump up, lower ourselves down to the belly button, get the solid false grip, squeeze the elbows in, and then lower, pull the bar in towards us, and then go down. The slower we do it, the better it's gonna be. Next up, we have the weighted pull-ups. This in its own is not necessarily gonna give you everything to achieve the muscle up, but as a complement to gaining extra strength, together with other exercises that I will show today, it is a massive help. Because if we can get really strong in the first pulling part, we can gain a lot of speed in the beginning. And if we have speed, it's gonna be way easier for us to then achieve enough height to get over the bar. I recommend taking a weight that you can do about 6 repetitions. At that point, we're training a lot of strength, which is really what we want. Dip belt or weight vest works fine. And then here, we got the reps. Make sure to have full lockout on each repetition. Now it's time for some jumping muscle ups. And as the name indicates, it is when we're gonna jump and do the muscle up at the same time. So we can use our legs to gain some extra momentum, and then this is gonna be great for training the transition and especially this last part. What we do, we false grip as always, shoulder width apart, and then we're gonna go into a squat position. We're gonna jump and pull at the same time, allowing us to gain some momentum and then perform the muscle up. Of course, for this, you need to start off with a bar that's suitable for you, that you can actually perform it. But then as you're getting stronger, we can go higher and higher with the bar or lower the thing we're standing on to make the jump longer and longer. The less I use my legs and the more I pull, the better it's gonna be. It is time for the resistance band muscle up, which is one hell of a great exercise since it's simulating the muscle up extremely well. It's also easy to start with a thick band and then work yourself up with a thinner and thinner band until you can finally do the muscle up. As with all exercises, there are some good and bad. The bad thing with resistance band muscle up is that we're getting most of the help in the bottom position. And as we're pulling up here, we're getting less and less help. And when we're up against the bar, we're barely getting any help at all. However, the muscle up is a lot about explosiveness. So if we learn to get that explosiveness in the beginning, we're not necessarily gonna need that much help for the top end. Which is why this still is a great exercise to have in the workout. We put both legs in. We'll add some light swing. We pull up, get here. From here, I'm barely getting help from the band, but that's fine because we've been training our straight bar dip, so we're strong in this position. And then we wanna use the momentum, get back up. I do recommend you to take a band that allows you to do about 4 or 5 repetitions. So you're getting really comfortable with the movement at the same time as we're building some significant strength. And if you don't have any resistance band, I will leave the link to the ones I use so you can easily find them and start your training as early as possible. Last but not least is the Kipping muscle up. This is also an exercise that is great for transition, and in combination with doing it and building more strength, you will eventually achieve the clean muscle up. The concept with the Kipping one is to use our legs as momentum, so we will pull the knees up towards the chest, almost like you're loading a spring. Whilst you're losing that momentum, you will then extend your legs to get this additional height for you to then pull in towards the bar. Now you're an expert when it comes to techniques, but also which exercises to incorporate. If you combine these two, train the muscle up about 3 times per week, you will achieve it in no time. But if you feel like you still need some more guidance, I got your back. I have a full muscle up program, video format, me explaining all the exercises more in detail, exactly how many reps, sets, rest you should do. Super easy to follow. You will also be able to interact with me, ask questions if you have any problems with anything or you need additional help. I will leave the link in the description, so it's super easy for you to find. With that being said, hit the like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Choo-choo!